The soul is like a ship. It travels. Some of us come into this life with memories and wisdom from past lifetimes still intact. Talents or even knowledge of languages or know-how that in our young years no one could explain. We are fully shaped individuals, yet we have to start every time all over again. We do this to assist in times of rapid evolution in various hotspots around the cosmos. It is not always an easy job, and we carry baggage from all those incarnations and identities. Some things are easier to let go of than others, and at times we are called to deal with an accumulation of experiences from multiple other incarnations. I have lived 1,000 lives, hundreds of thousands of years, here, there, and everywhere, the sojourn of the soul through centuries on earth and elsewhere, places where they don't count time the way we do, places that have no time. During those journeys, joy has often been coupled with trauma of all kinds, but the most prominent for trailblazers is this: you bring something new in, and you are being viciously attacked by those who still worship the old dysfunctions. Light squandered so it won't fulfill its purpose. This can get really heavy on the spirit after multiple incarnations, and it is also not a point that many reach, as many give up way too soon. And though there is no judgment about it, many do integrate into the dysfunction under the false perception that they will finally get to have some sense of peace, which never truly lasts, as you can never really make an honest deal with the proverbial devil. Every moment since our birth into this time-space continuum is an effort to shape us into something the pathologies of the systems around us align with. This is impacting us generationally as ancestors impose pathologies on their offspring, believing they're doing their best by shaping us into anything other than the medicine we naturally embody. Who hides behind those social constructs that by now seem ancient, and we all accept them without questioning? Who benefits when we self-enforce the oppression of our light, and who is strong enough to stop this? People think this is as innocent as simply wanting to fit in. It's just the way things are, right? But collectively, we don the robe of amnesia anew. Each day, we consent to our oppression through our daily choices and actions. Ultimately, souls forget what they came here to do in the first place. I have lived 1,000 lives. I have been a priestess and a warrior, a healer and a seer, a woman fighter in Iceland, wielding swords in battle, a black musician singing joy and sorrow in New Orleans. I have left my last breath in a house for the sick as a mother of 4 grown men, or at least that's what we called 12-year-olds in Ireland back in the early 1700s. I have been a warrior of the Royal Guard in the ancient constellation of Lyra, light years away, when our civilization was taken over by those who worship the death impulse. I have loved, been loyal, been betrayed, and won victories. I have died to protect. I have flown over countries for the first time seemingly, only to recognize them. And I have felt national pride for lands I never stepped foot on before. Many of us come in with our soul memories still intact, but we are being asked to act like we were only born yesterday. And even worse, like we are not sovereign, we are not free, like we are not a direct expression of God force. We are being coerced into stepping half-willingly into this role of disempowerment if we want to survive. And for the years our lives are under the authority of so-called parental figures that out of miseducation and forced slavery consciousness upon us, we play our roles so well that many lose themselves at this stage, never to return again to who they were before they were told who to be. Very few make the conscious decision to find the way back to their soul truth and realign to their divine purpose. This is a soul contract. It is not a trend. The soul contract demands that we no longer hide in the shadows. Our leadership, our prowess, our strength and insight, keepers of wisdom, we came here to lead the revolution, open up the new timelines. With our voices, our bodies acting as tuning forks and rods for higher consciousness to anchor into this world. Standing for the light means we have had to undergo training already before coming in, where we worked hard to process and integrate the deepest of shadows within ourselves. This was a skill we had to fully master if we were to stand a chance to look at darkness in the face and live to tell the tale, or even transmute said darkness. Because of our intense pre-birth training, we come into this world with enormous reserves of empathy. We cry with the pain of others. We empathize even with the worst of predators. We see the light in others. We constantly try to think of ways to live this world better than we found it. We give great battles to pull others into the potential we see in them. Our empathy and patience is mistaken for weakness and naivete. We have an ability to merge with another and feel their heart as if it was our own. We have mastered integration because it was a prerequisite to us coming here. We do not come here to evolve. We come in already trained to change a corrupt system from the inside. We had to bargain with the corrupt systems in order to be allowed in, and we came to a deal that upon entering, we would be subjected to amnesia, and so the first part of our mission would therefore now be to remember and reclaim the wholeness and integrity of the medicine we came to introduce into this world. The path of remembering requires sacrifice and shifts that attract attention. Once you walk this path, you are sticking out like a sore thumb. In their induced sleep, in their unquestioned dream state, those who do not share this soul contract with their egoic shadow still unprocessed see these Christed forces as wolves, while perceiving the true wolves of this world as lambs. They therefore put their lives into the wrong hands, and any hands other than your own are the wrong hands to place your divine self-authority in. For a long time, this expectation to dishonor my light has felt like an insult to the soul. I personally had to inquire with courage and honesty to the depths of my essence to find answers to the question, how can I make my life a protest, a statement of non-obedience, while retaining the peace I naturally embody? A lot had to be purged. All that binds us to the false sense of security and survival within hijacked supposed tribes. I had to give it all to the water. The shame for being different, the anger and the resentment for the rape of the soul when I was under the authority of others. Working with the divine everywhere in our world, in nature, in the angelic realms, the elements, the land, the soil and the waters, prayer and purification, releasement ritual after releasement ritual. The water has been my teacher and my healer. The consciousness of water has taught me to move in unexpected ways, be life-giving, yet sculpt through to the other side of the heaviest of boulders blocking my path. The water has taught me play, persistence, and commitment, and that I always have a choice. There is always a way back to myself. I learned the grace of flow and purification while healing a broken body that showed openly now the signs of relentless attacks and abuse through the years. I spoke to the rivers, and the water carried my shackles far away. And here I was, cracked open, with light pouring in and out like molten lava. It is a frightful sight for some, so I had to learn to protect it from those not inclined to fight for their own liberation. And at times, I had to choose to live alone. Aristotle said, "He who lives alone is either a god or a beast. What if I am both?" I have lived hundreds of thousands of years and thousands of lives. What you see in me today is a reflection of a collection of existences spanning across time and space. But this time, also, a healing has occurred. I learned to let go of what has ended, and I cannot change anymore. I learned to keep the power and the wisdom of all I've lived, allowing the rest to be transmuted. Through history, I have gone and I have lived through it all. These are the things I gave the water.